Hello, everybody. On another edition of Near Workshops, we have Pikespeak, the leading data analytics tool for people on Near Protocol. And yeah, today we have people at Pikespeak coming here to not only present their dashboard, but also to teach us how to work with their API, so we can also bring these robust analytics on Near Protocol to our dApps. So yeah, without further ado, please take it away.
Okay, so hello everybody. So I'm Bertrand, I'm the CTO of Pikespeak, and I'm here to give a little introduction on our product, which is a all-in-one place data analytics tool for the near blockchain. We started this tool because we weren't very happy with the state of the art data and analytics on the near blockchain. The Explorer wasn't very precise or didn't fit our need. So we built this product on the custom indexer we built, which allow us to modelize event on the blockchain and allow deep analytics of what's happening on the near blockchain. So we got like two separate um, offer, I might say. The first one is our ready-to-use dashboard for users that are in search of qualitative data on the near blockchain, and I'm gonna present you some of those dashboards right here. And we got a developer API for those who want to build specific tailored dApps or websites based on near blockchain data. So our main dimensions of analytics are the user, the global ecosystem view, and the dApps. For example, on the screen you can see our Wallet Explorer, which gives an insider view of any wallet on Near. We can here search any wallet on Near, and we get access to his not only his balance but also his position on a few well-known dApp. For example, Red Finance here for DeFi. We got all his history. Um, Parsed and modelized in such way that is readable. I mean, a swap on the blockchain is like a complex transaction, but we modelize it so it's very human readable. And we also provide a graph tool to um, analyze with which wallet this user has interacted and so on. So you can search here any user on Near. We also got a more global dimension with our view near world, hot wallet, but also validators and ecosystem funds. I won't deep dive into all those views, but those view are purpose is to give a global view of the ecosystem. So the activity, the unique user, but also the wealth repartition, the rainbow bridge transaction. It's when you transfer money from Ethereum to Near, it's really helpful to know from where the money come from and who sent it onto the blockchain. We also got a global view for the hot wallet, the most active wallet, and their specific transaction, how much they sent or received. And we got a global view of the validators, which is more of a network view, how the validator are the repartition of the wealth between the validator, how much people are sticking in it, etc., etc. So we try with those view to give real reason resume overview of the whole ecosystem, from the network to the activity to the transferable fund. We also got the ecosystem fund, which is more investment related. We are tracking all the near foundation wide and where the payment and the donation goes to follow which project are supported by the near foundation. So very interesting data here. And the last dimension is the DAS. I can show you the DAO view. We're tracking all the DAO on the near blockchain, and who is a part of DAO and this political power, in in the sense, it gives you an overview of the power of an user by tracking on which DAO he got a vote and how much this DAO weighs in terms of wealth. I want to dive because I could like make half an hour presentation on our dashboard, but I will let Francois make the presentation of the API. Basically, we are using the data that our API provide to build those dashboard. But if those dashboard doesn't meet your particular needs as a developer, you can use our API to build whatever you need to do.
Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So our dashboard are built on this API. So whatever dashboard we produced, you can produce it too, and you can produce also whatever view you want or need. Let's share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, before going to the APIs, there is a lot of fun thing you can do with the actual dashboard, and I mean there is a lot to dig. But for example, just to give a few examples, in Hot Wallet you can see, for example, this one near transfer, it transferred like 10 million near in the last 24 hours. So I know this address. I know it's an Hot Wallet from Banyan. I recognize it. But you can check it and verify. We have some tagging and check its Binance. Then you can go to transfer and check what are the main addresses which receive or sent near to this specific. And you can do some tracking like that. It's quite fun. For example, this guy received like 5 million near, and you can go check it. So it's probably a delegator since you have 2.5 million near on this pool, and so on. You can do a lot of things like that. Ecosystem found is it's a focus on proximity address and near foundation address, at least the address we identify, because there is no official list, and you can see here all the operation they're doing if you're curious about how the near foundation or proximity works. And same thing for validators. There is a few dashboard of analytics and how much is stacked, who is stacking where and stuff like that. The stacking repartition. Spoiler, it's very, very concentrated. And we have also live data. Anyway, for the API, you can request any data we use ourselves. So for that, you need an API key that you can find in your account here. And you can dig among the different section that you find on the website. So for example, if you need more specific data about an account, you can check the event history. Here we go. We are taking this account as example because it's a liquidity provider on ref we spotted. So you can get all of his transaction, whatever it is, FT transfer, near transfer, or swap, add liquidity. So here we have no filters, so we get all the events. We can add a filter on swap, for example. And here we get all of his swap. Another interesting thing you may if you work with bridge and need to do some tracking, you can find the potentially related Ethereum address for an account. So here we're gonna try that with the known Alameda address, and you get its Ethereum address, where I mean the money for the near account of Alameda. I mean it's coming from those two Ethereum address, and we get those informations with analyzing the Rainbow Bridge. So basically, that's it. To use the API, you just have to put your API key that you can find in your account section here, and you can dig into it, and there is a lot of things you can do. I would like to give an example how to build something on your social using our API. So here, for example, we built this widget, which allows you to see the most active contracts over the last 7 days. And so you can fork it. You can use the public API key. We're gonna limit it to the use on near social, but you can work with this API key, forking this widget, and calling this API contract ranking. You can build those kind of widget. Just parsing it, you have a I don't know, guys, if you already tried near social, but it's basically a React component. Another example with near social I did this morning is displaying the live swap of Ref Finance. So this is kind of the same thing. We're gonna call the event historic of Ref Finance. Oops. With two filters, one on the date. You want all the swipe of the last 24 hours, for example, and one on the specific event you want, because you don't want add liquidity, remove liquidity, or whatever other thing you can do on refinance. You just want to swap. So you can just use this API route fetch with swap filters on the date you want, and then you have a little bit of CSS to do, and you can have your widget. Yeah, it's working. It's refreshing. Um, and if you don't want to work on your social, you can work on small small project. For example, I I did a very basic um, example of tracking. So I'm using symbol guide.near as entry point. And what I'm asking is I'm using the outgoing near route, which will give me where it is. Okay, outgoing near we for a specific account will give you um, where this account sent near, and this is the total. So for example, here you can see that grandalex.near sent something like 6 million, 6 million near to wrap.near. And yeah, so doing that, you can do some tracking. You can see the first receiver of near for grandalex.near is this address, and this address also sends some near elsewhere, and so on and so on and so on. So looping on that, you can do this kind of thing. So here I did it for a simple guide.near, which sent a total amount of 8 million near to this address. This address sent a total amount to this address, which sent a total amount of to this address, and so on. And I stopped it here because there is a loop. Here, each time I take the first receiver. So at some point when you arrive to Binance, Binance 1 sent this amount of near to Binance called 3, and we stopped here because Binance called 3 probably its first receiver is Binance 1, so it's looping. But it's just a way to do tracking. There is a lot of way you can do that also on FT transfer. Okay, maybe another thing Bertrand didn't develop is a contract analysis, which is a view to see the activity of a specific DApp. So let's take, for example, social.near, and you can see the growth over the last 30 days, for example, the user retention over months, daily number of transaction, active user, moved value, if it makes sense for this contract. I don't know, the different call coming to this contract. And an interesting view, I think, for a builder on Near is a cross-DApp analysis. It gives you, for any user interacting with your contract, it gives you where this user has spent money or token or near elsewhere on other DApp. So it means that for social.near, with a combined unique user of social.near, they spent or trade, or at least they interacted for this amount of money for around $20 million with v2.ref finance, and so on, 2 million with Skyward. So this is global view, and you may want to have the detail of those users, like I want to know my power users, like they are using my contract as they are spending money elsewhere, and I want to know which user has money to spend, for example. So here we did not push it on the web page, but you can get the raw data downloading the CSV. I'm not sure if I can share the CSV. Okay, I'm gonna share the I'm gonna share the CSV. Uh, Up here we are. Okay, so here you can see like for each. So here I downloaded the token CSV. You can see for each user of social.near where they spend money and how much, and for which token. So this column is the token and the amount they spent. So for example, you know that a user of this user of near social spent this amount on Paras, and so on. So you can really identify your potential power user and the wealth repartition of your user if you analyze this CSV file, for example. And this data is available um, on the API also. So you can how to change screen. So you can get this data programmatically using the API. If you
What
want
what call
to create, sorry,
what call do you use for this? Is there like a straightforward call, or are you like what endpoints are you hitting on the API to like generate a view
uh,
like this?
we are gonna use yeah, there is a lot of routes. Um, where is it? CrossDAP on the contract analysis. You're gonna use CrossDAP near spending user list or CrossDAP FT spending user list. If you want the user, if you want the global view, you can use just FT spending. If we try it on the web page, it's gonna be probably too heavy, but you can call it and you just get the data.
Awesome. If you can switch back to the dashboards as well. And is there also any NFT support, or is it strictly like fungible tokens at this point?
Uh, Wait, let me up. Okay. Uh, your question was
Right now you're checking for FT spending, and then also like yeah, mostly for like monetary spending, but I want to know if there's like any like NFT support here or
uh,
yeah.
we, we don't support NFT yet. We plan to integrate it very soon, but just FT and near for now.
But NFTs are definitely on the roadmap. There's just so much thing to address. We had to prioritize, but NFT is on the list. You can see there is a menu icon for NFT that's disabled for now, but we hope that it will be enabled very soon. We're working on it.
Yeah, the next things on the roadmap is integrating more and more events. Uh, Basically, indexing more and more events for all the DeFi platform, NFT. We working currently on DAO, and so there is this part integrating new events, and the other part is providing a WebSocket for real-time events. So you can subscribe to a swap event for any DeFi platform and get it live the same way you have it here on the dashboard, except you can work on it on any DApp or trading bot or whatever you want.
And then what are some events on like the DAO roadmap where you guys can be tracking like proposals, new members added, like what's currently on the DAO and what's upcoming for the DAO?
Yeah, so for the DAO, what we have currently is pretty basic. It's the list of the DAO, the list of every member, and how much money they get in each DAO. What we are integrating right now, not published yet, but I mean, probably this week or early next week. It's all the event. What are the proposal? The different vote, where how much money is transferred from this DAO to who? Is there a bounty for anything and things like that?
And the one thing I think is really unique outside of just the analytics is um in the I primarily use this for like tracking like which contracts are active and also the ecosystem fund and to see like the whales and the shrimps. I want to know under the ecosystem funds there is like there's a visualization you showed of like the social graph of like who's actually giving money to who. What's on the back end, what are you using that to construct that like social graph?
Uh, what do you mean by social graph? I mean on this
Like
view?
it may not be on this. There's you can see who give money to who.
Ah,
Yeah,
you mean this one?
yeah. So like, what does is this strictly built on the near transfers call or yeah? How are you building this visualization?
Yeah, it's an analyze of the near transfer call. It's limited to the top 300 most the biggest call, because you can draw a graph with 50,000 points. But yeah, it's based on the near transfer. We could easily do it with FT transfer. We have to choose what we build because there is so much. So, um, but yeah, it's just a simple graph or of the most active of the biggest transfer from an address. So here
And
we can see that. Sorry. Uh,
uh,
yes, please.
and then like for like when is the estimated like launch of like Aurora? And I also have some questions regarding like notifications. What like is there any notifications built in or yeah, how does that work?
Uh, so you're asking about Aurora and notification. I understood well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Aurora is next big work on back end. Bertrand is working on that currently, and for notification, the system we will propose is a WebSockets subscription. Uh, so I'm not sure what you meant by notification.
Like okay, so it's for other people to integrate. I want to know if like if there's like if I store this, would there be like a Telegram notification or email notification or is that something you want other builders to integrate using the API?
Um, we could do the notification, but before we do email or Telegram notification, is we're gonna open a WebSocket, meaning that you're gonna subscribe to the swap event for Jumbo exchange, for example, and each time there is swap, you're gonna receive data from the WebSocket you opened, and from there, anyone with an API key can build its own notification system. Um, and of course, if we have time, we would love to build ourselves the notification system. But for now, we're just gonna provide. a way to do that.
Awesome. And
Uh,
can you kind of outline like the pricing model of the API and then the dashboard, because you kind of already had the API key. So like with subscribing to the dashboard, you also get an API key which you can build on top of. Like that's the primary way of actually getting the key. Is that correct?
yeah, actually, you can try the dashboard for free for a week, which give you access to the whole dashboard analytics, and you can try the API, see it fit your needs. And after that, you can subscribe if you want, if you are a regular user. Of course, you get more calls to the API if you are a paying subscriber. And let's see. So yeah, basically, if you want the trial, you can use the API to test, and if you want to make a proof of concept for your project, or it's gonna work. But you can't request a lot if you need more data.
Yeah, what I
Uh,
like about this is it's also signed in with Near, and you can pay directly in Near as well. So that makes it convenient for a lot of people who have a
yeah,
lot of Near sitting around.
yeah, absolutely. If you have too much near, you can easily take a subscription here. And so yeah, but it's a pretty basic subscription contract. And what else have we covered?
Yeah, awesome. And just for the audience, yeah, like I really like that you put the example of like the Near Social, the Pikespeak most active contrast, one of the like OG apps on Near Social or widgets on Near Social. So it's a really good example of interfacing that. There is a Near Social hackathon. I think it ends on the 24th, and then Eat Denver is coming up, middle day from the 24th to the first Near Day, and then to the second to the fifth is the main event for Eat Denver, and a lot of those bounties will be near social centric as well. And yeah, a lot of near social hackathons to come. So would love to start seeing more analytics. What we don't have on near social is we don't have like the actual like users and activity and growth around near social. So I really like that cross contract DApp call. I would love to see different project pages implement like that for their own contracts to see like what their users are using as well. We don't have stuff about like whales or any analytics dashboards regarding individual users. So I would love to start seeing like who in your social actually has money and their activity as well. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to leverage this. And then I think also like the probable addresses for ETH would be really cool for linking to profiles to the Aurora Bridge and getting more Aurora applications as well, because there's going to be a huge push to actually get Ethereum front ends and EVM compatible front ends onto Near Social. So yeah, that would be awesome if builders could start leveraging this powerful tool.
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely. Especially you have a public API key, which you can use as you want if you want to build on your social.
and yeah, if anyone has any questions or if you want to add anything to close anything off, yeah, not now is the chance, but yep. Yeah, I don't think there's much questions right now. You guys are pretty extensive going through a lot of the application. Again, like I love using this application. I use it a lot to see like what contracts are actually popping, who actually has users, and a lot of who is actually getting money from the foundation and where that money is going. So this is really powerful tool if you really care about the ecosystem. And yeah. And so thank you so much for coming out, and I'm looking forward to people building on Pikespeak.
Thank,
Thank you
thank,
for having
thank
us.
you.